So last night were the NHL Awards for this year, and it almost turned into basically the Vegas show because, for one, they were in Vegas, and two, quite a few of the awards were won by people from the Vegas Golden Knights. Hi, I'm Spencer. Welcome back to Broad Culture, and this is the 2018 NHL Awards review video. I wrote down, excuse me, I just had dinner a little while ago, so do pardon the hiccups if they do come and go. But as I was saying, I wrote down the winners right here, including one on the back, or I also put the Hoffman trade fiasco information down. But let's just hop right into it. They awarded the Ted Lindsay Award, voted on by the hockey players in the NHL for the best player. Who did it go to? Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers, who I would have to say actually was pretty deserving of it. And by the way, these are in no particular order. I just happen to write them down. So some of the big ones I will already get out of the way somehow, but yeah, they're not in the order in which they were announced. Anyways, up next is the Vezina Trophy, awarded to the best goaltender in the league. And that went to Pekka Rinne from the Nashville Predators. He did a fantastic job. I would have to say maybe I haven't even seen the voting numbers for it yet, but I would have to say it was probably close between him and Connor Hellebuck from the Winnipeg Jets. Then they awarded to the William M. Jennings Trophy, which was awarded to the goaltender with the lowest goals against, and that went to Jonathan Quick from the LA Kings. I'm just glad they didn't take all the stuff that happened in round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, because that looked bad for the Kings. If you don't know, Vegas swept the Kings in the first round. Then we get to the Frank J. Selke Trophy, which is awarded to the best defensive forward, and that went to Anze Kopitar from the LA Kings. He was very deserving of this one as well. He was very humble when he went up there. Everyone who received their awards tonight was very, very humble in their award speech. You know, basically saying, giving a shout out to the other players who were nominated. Basically saying, you know, you should be up here, not me. But here I am, so I'm just going to go ahead and speak. Anyways, moving on. We get to the James E. Norris Trophy, which is awarded to the best defenseman in the league. And this one was no surprise that it went to Victor Hedman from the Tampa Bay Lightning. He did a very, very good job this year. I remember watching some of the games between Tampa Bay and Washington and thinking that he was a very good defensive player. Then we get to the Lady Byng Trophy, awarded to the most gentlemanly player in the league. And here's where we start getting Vegas players and Vegas individuals involved. They awarded it to William Karlsson from the Golden Knights. Yep, I could see that one coming. Most of these were going to go to people from Vegas because, like I said at the start of the video, the award ceremony was in Vegas. Then they awarded the Bill Masterton Trophy for the player with the best dedication to hockey. Before I announce it, let me tell you the 3 people who were nominated. We had Jordan Stahl from the Carolina Hurricanes. He was nominated because he and his wife unfortunately delivered a stillborn child, but he came back within a game of that incident and just was on fire during that game. Then another one of the nominees was Roberto Luongo from the Florida Panthers. He was nominated because of the work that he provided to the Parkland community because he lived there. He had a child who went to Stoneman Douglas High School where the Valentine's Day shooting occurred. And then finally they got to Brian Boyle from the New Jersey Devils, who at the beginning of training camp last year was diagnosed with a form of leukemia, but came back in November and within his first 25 games scored at least 10 points. and Brian Boyle ended up winning the Bill Masterton Trophy. And I figured that was well deserved, especially with who the presenters were. They were Craig Anderson, who is the goaltender for the Ottawa Senators. Wink, wink. We talked about Ottawa in a previous video, and his wife, who went through a bout with cancer and is actually the NHL's ambassador for the Hockey Fights Cancer Association and Foundation. Next, we get to the Calder Memorial Trophy, awarded to the best rookie in the league. And this one was pretty much a surefire who was going to win. It was Matthew Barzal from the New York Islanders. I do believe, Clayton Keller may have had a good chance. He was from Arizona Coyotes. He had a good chance. And I cannot remember for the life of me right now who the other nominee was. Should have wrote all this down, but that's okay. Matthew Barzal walks away with the Calder. Then we get to the King Clancy Trophy, awarded to a player, or in this case, players, for their humanitarian work. And these two guys who won it are brothers and were retiring this season after playing with the team for so long. And it was Daniel and Henrik Sedin from the Vancouver Canucks, who I'm pretty sure was very deserving of it. And this is the NHL's way of saying thank you for everything you've done over the years. Next up, I think for them is pretty much the Hockey Hall of Fame. Maybe not next year, but in the coming years for sure. I think you have to wait a certain amount of time before you get in. I'm going to skip over this one because I'm going to save for last. We get to General Manager of the Year. And no surprise, it went to George McPhee of the Vegas Golden Knights. When your team gets to the Stanley Cup Finals in the first year of existence, that GM better get some kind of award. Speaking of, they then handed out the Jack Adams Award for Coach of the Year. Guess what? Spoiler alert, another Vegas guy. Head coach Gerard Gallant. Again, just like with the GM, if you can coach a team of what everyone, including myself, assumed were misfits, castaways, has-beens, except for, of course, Marc-Andre Fleury, and you take these guys all the way to the finals, even though you lose, you deserve something. Then they awarded the Marc Messier NHL Leadership Award. And who was there to hand it out? The man himself, Marc Messier. And he handed it to Derek Engelland from Vegas. Another one of the alternate captains, who I honestly believe, I'm guessing this coming season, they're going to name him the team captain. Because he's pretty much already been the guy who has already gone up to accept the Clarence Campbell Bowl for the Western Conference Championship. I can easily see that. The guy is from Vegas. He's lived there. He gave an emotional speech the night after the home game, their very first home game in Vegas after 1 October, as they like to call it there, unfortunately. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, it's the worst mass shooting in United States history. It happened in Las Vegas on October 1st. Then they handed out the Art Ross Trophy, awarded to the points leader in the NHL, and that was, of course, Connor McDavid. That's one of the things where it's just you base it off the stats alone, not voting, not anything. That just goes to the points leader. Again, that went to Connor McDavid of Edmonton, who already won the Ted Lindsay Award earlier on the night. They also announced the Maurice Richard Trophy winner to the league's top goal scorer. That's different from points leader. They're talking about the actual goal scorer, and that went to Alexander Ovechkin from the Washington Capitals. So now he has a Stanley Cup and another. This might be his first Maurice Richard trophy, but I could be wrong. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Then they announced very awkwardly the cover player for NHL 19 this coming year for the video game, and that went to Nashville Predators player PK Subban, who I was thinking it was either going to be him or Fleury. Ended up being PK. Then for the first time this year, they handed out the Willie O'Ree Community Hero Award, and Willie O'Ree himself was there to hand out the award, which is a replica of his signature hat. And it went to Darcy Hogan, the late coach of the Humboldt Broncos junior hockey team. If you don't know the story behind that, the Humboldt Broncos were a junior league hockey team out of Saskatchewan. When one night in April, they were on their way to a championship game, and their bus collided with a tractor trailer, killing 15 of the Humboldt associates, including players and the head coach himself, Darcy, and injured 13 others. So his wife and a few of the surviving Humboldt Broncos themselves were there to accept the award on his behalf. They also showed an in memoriam video of those who died in the Humboldt crash. I'm not going to lie, I almost got teary-eyed with the song they were playing. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. Please bring a box of tissue with you if you are prone to letting the waterworks flow down your cheeks. Now we get to the main trophy of the night, the Hart Trophy. And that is spelled H-A-R-T. Not, beating heart, but heart. And is awarded to the league MVP. And for the first time in history, a New Jersey Devils player is awarded this trophy, and it went to Taylor Hall, who I believe was very deserving because he helped get his team into the playoffs for the first time in a while. Nathan MacKinnon could have probably also gotten it too, because he got the Avalanche back to the playoffs, and then Anze Kopitar. I mean, what else can you say? It was more or less between Hall and MacKinnon, and I do believe the right guy won it. But that is the review of the NHL 2018 award show. You'll see me covering hockey again the next couple days whenever they start the NHL draft, with some fun stuff coming ahead. If you like this video, please give us some thumbs up down there. Leave a comment if you like this video, what you didn't like about it, anything. Please watch our next video or an old one if you wish. And as always, peace and love. God bless. See you in the next video.